wanna be your top time riding on this floor.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a long 2 months and the semester is kicking my butt, but I imagine it's like that for everybody. I don't want to talk about depressing topics such as the semester, but I will say that this online thing is really a 50-50. Some classes, like, I really enjoy the format. Other classes is just really hard to do, but I've been getting through it. There's only about 17 days left, like class days left in the semester, and I'm gonna just power through it. But yeah, I found the time today to do a video, even though I got class in like 45 minutes, but we're gonna make it work. So today we're gonna talk about the second part of my study abroad trip way back when, last year, summer 2019, and that was going to South Korea. So you already know, I spoke about this just like briefly in my other videos, how much like I love Korea and Korean culture. So this part of the trip was really special to me, even though it was so short. It only lasted about 8 days in total, and in that time we hit Seoul and Jeju Island. So yeah, let's get into that. Alright, so our first day in Korea, it was just me, my best friend Cheyenne, the professor, and our other friend Ben. At this time, the other 2 students still hadn't made it, so we did the first day in Korea by ourselves. So what was on the itinerary was to go to the DMZ. So that is a demilitarized zone, and it's what separates Korea, South Korea and North Korea on the 38th parallel. It's like the physical longitude, latitude lines that separate the 2 countries. And so with that, it's legit like a kind of like a line, and if you like cross over one area, you're into North Korea, and if you go back, you're back in South Korea. But we didn't get to go to that part, unfortunately, because there was like some type of political whatever between the 2 countries, so that portion of the trip was closed. But we did get to go. That was the JBT or something like that. I don't know, I'm gonna edit that in because I don't remember the name of it. But where we did go was a tunnel basically, and that led was like a tunnel dug by North Korean soldiers to try to infiltrate South Korea. So we got on a bus early in the morning. Like, again, our itinerary started super early for everything that we did, whether we were in Qatar, in Korea, or in Myanmar. That would be part 3. But we did it. We woke up and we explored. We were the ultimate tourists, but I don't regret it at all. But yeah, so we hopped on a bus and we found out that on the bus was a North Korean defector. So basically that means that someone that successfully escaped North Korea and they're now living in South Korea and trying to find their life there. So I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, but it was kind of a pleasant surprise to actually see someone that has been through life in North Korea and to actually be here and talking to us and giving us insight. I feel like that was really like a thing to look forward to on the trip. So while we go to the tunnel, it's like a mountain top. So basically the bus is like beep, is swerving to get up to the top of a mountain, and then the incline, we find out, to go into the tunnel is 11 degrees. So for reference point, I'm not great at geometry or trigonometry or all that shit, but it's here and the slope is like, well, here, and then the slope is like down. English. But we had to climb down. Going down wasn't so bad. It was extremely steep and the tunnels were really narrow. Like, I'm about 5'6", and the tunnels I would say were about like maybe 5'6", 5'8", because we were like squatting. Like, my friend, she's 5'10", so yeah, she was like Hunchback of Notre Dame. But yo, what is up with me today? Oh my god, it's been too long without filming, so the cursing is trying to come through. But yeah, so we were like legit like hunched over walking through this tunnel, and this thing was endless. It was endless. We were walking for like what felt like almost a mile before we got to the end. And so during this, we had like a tour guide, and he was basically explaining like what we were seeing, how it was built, and it was like super narrow this way and super like condensed this way. So it was interesting. And there were like benches on the side because apparently people have passed out going through it, which I can understand because I'm not the most fit person in the world, and neither were anyone there except for Shai. She plays rugby, so she was good. I was struggling on the other end. And meanwhile, the professor didn't even join. She was upstairs for like reasonable, like it was reasonable why she didn't join, because she was having hip issues. Like even after our trip, she had to go and do hip surgery. So I was like, all right, you get the pass. But we was down there, we were struggling, trying to infiltrate North Korea or whatever, but it was fun. So when we got to the end, there was like it was this weird area, and if you like looked forward, there were like big blocks like separated by like I think like 70 kilometers or so, and there was like 2 of these things. So there was like, they planned this basically. There was levels to this tunnel, and they were basically saying that we were about 75 kilometers from North Korea, and I was just saying there like, if something goes down right now, it is over for us. But we were just like, you know what? It's part of the thrill. We have fun. But we were just sitting there like, yo, what if someone just popped out from the other side, or what if North Korea decided to be like, nah, we turn this shit up today, like, come on. But yeah, so after that we all looked around, it was cool, and then we had to do the 11 degrees up. As you can see on my face, that was not pleasant, because you're legit trying to walk. You ever been to the Bronx? So you know how the Bronx got these steep ass hills? Imagine that, but just like on some next level. Like this, it was crazy. We were legit going. I had to hold on to the rails at some point, because the first few steps or whatever was okay, but by the top I was legit like, go without me, go on. It was so crazy, like everyone was in front of me, but I was like, you know what, nah, y'all go. Like, I'm not ready for this. But yeah, that was over. We did that, and then we went back up. It was crazy. Like, it took me a minute, but I got there. So we get back on the bus, because at this point they're gonna just like drop us off in a popular shopping area, just so we can just go like chill. And that's when we really got a chance to talk to the North Korean defector. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but he did like tell us stories about his family, about like his path through like China to get out, and just the whole like complicated things you have to go through if you want to leave North Korea. And people were asking questions. I didn't have a particular question to ask, just because I was just like, I was still kind of in shock, and I was just like, whoa, this is like insane. When am I ever gonna get an opportunity like this? So it was cool. He was telling us that how like all of the North Koreans that have managed to defect to South Korea, they have like a network, so they help each other find their family members like through like their version of Facebook, and they just like connect with each other, and they pay merchants to help them cross borders and so and so. And it was just extremely interesting, extremely sad, especially when he was telling us about his family. But he's managed to adjust very well, as most have been able to, but also others obviously don't assimilate so well at the beginning. But it's something that you have to learn with, especially if you're gonna move to like almost a 180 opposite country in terms of style, in terms of development, in terms of like economy, and just how they run their government. But yeah, that was the first day of the trip. And during that, afterwards, we went to a famous shopping area called Myeongdong, and they have most of like the nightlife, even though we went in the daytime. Again, we started really early, but they had a bunch of like shopping areas and stuff like that. So we just bought food from the vendors, bought little like jewelry and stuff like that, went to some stores, and just relaxed for the rest of the day. Also, I forgot to mention, like during the tour when we were at the DMZ, we were also able to like look on the other side. Kind of, there was like an area where they had a bunch of like telescopes, and we can actually like see some portions of North Korea. You can actually like see their guards like patrolling some building, and there was like a giant flagpole that had like the North Korean flag on there. But that was another interesting part of that first day. But yeah, so on our other days, we went to do like the normal tourist things. There was this Tonging market where like if you have like you would trade in some money to get food coins basically, and you give the coins to each merchant depending on how much the food cost, and then you just get like a tray and get random things. Like you legit hold your tray, walk through the market, and then give it to one of the ajumas, the aunties, and then they'll be like, all right, what you want, and then put it on for you. But it was pretty nice. I liked that market. And then we did that on the same day. We went to one of the biggest palaces. That's the Gyeongbokgung Palace in Seoul, South Korea, and it was fun. When you go to that palace, like normally you would like dress up in the hanbok Korean traditional wear, but I don't think our professor wanted to do it, so we didn't get a chance to. So I'm kind of really sad about that because I really wanted to try it on. But everyone looked so beautiful, and it was just nice walking around the palace before, because again, I've only ever seen it on TV through dramas or through anything, so it was kind of really a mind-blowing moment to see an actual palace in real life. I was kind of going crazy inside, but I had to calm it down because we were with other people. And yeah, what else did we do that day? So during this time, like another reason I was super excited to be in Korea was to see like some of the students that graduated from Oswego that actually moved back to Korea, the Korean students that were on campus. So it was nice because I had met a couple of them during my time at KOSA, which is the Korean Oswego Student Association on campus, and it was nice meeting up with them. Like they treated me to food. It was super nice because it's been over like a year since I saw them all, and so I was able to meet with two of my friends, Kelly and Judy, and we had a great time. So that's leading into where we went next, which was Namsan Tower. So I've always only seen it, and Seoul Tower. I've only always seen it again on TV. So I was really excited to take the like train thing, cable car up to it. So there's a cable car and it will take you up leading to the tower. However, we got there and it was super crowded. Like the line to go there was dummy long, which was probably expected because I think it was a Friday, but it was just like, damn. So we really gotta wait in this line. So my friend Kelly, she was like, wait, there's another way to get there. We can take the stairs up. So at the time, I didn't really connect that when she said stairs, because if I didn't mention this tower is not just like from the ground up, it's on top of a mountain and then up. So we went to go take the stairs, and we went to get ice cream first. That was like a little, I guess, calm. And then I looked at the staircase to lead up to this thing, and it's not like a straight case, it's like a wraparound almost, whatever it's doing. And I looked at it and I was just like, nah G, what is that? That's like 1,000 stairs up to get to the top of this mountain. And then when you get to the top of the mountain, you're not even at the top of the tower yet, to my surprise. So we're climbing again. This is like the second time on the trip where I'm over here just huffing and puffing, but anything for the gram because I need to take these pics. I needed to get those pics there. So we get to the top. I don't even know how long later, but all I know is that I was dead. And so me and Shai, we run to the top because there's another line leading down to go to the cable cars. So there was a line to come up it and a line to go down it. So Junie and Kelly, they stayed in the line. And so we went crazy and we went to go look at the tower. Legit, I didn't even get a chance to go inside it. I'm still kind of mad because the views from there are insane. Like it looks so beautiful, especially at night, which it was. So we just looked up at the tower like, wow, that's really nice. Took like 2 pictures and then dipped back to join them in the line so we could go down the cable car. Yo, it's really sad because we were legit scrambling. We only had a week, like I said, and we were just really trying to get in everything that we could. So between the schedule that our teacher made, which was most of the touristy things, and between seeing my friends, like there wasn't much that we could do. But yeah, like during this trip, like I didn't tell the professor that I knew Korean, because like another friend of mine, she went on a trip to Barcelona and she was the only like Hispanic person there, so she kind of became the unofficial tour guide. So like everybody would just ask her to go to translate whatever. So I kind of just really wanted to have a unique experience, so I tried my best not to really like speak it unless I was just with Shai and just like going around by ourselves. But there was this one instance where I was kind of forced to speak it because so I got outed twice. So once in the market, because when I was like getting food and stuff like that, I was asking the lady some questions about like what it was. And so my other team members, this is not a team, my other classmates, they kind of caught on. They was just like, wait, did you just speak to that lady? And I was like, maybe. Don't watch that though. And then the second time was, we were going to one of these like famous K barbecue spots, and they were probably like, they are the creators of the steamed egg around the grill. Yeah, I'll find a picture. But we were on a bus and we got off the bus, but there was this like phone case on the seat and it looked like a gun. Like, you ever seen one of those where it's like if you put it in your pocket it will look like a gun? And so somebody obviously left their phone, so I just gave it to the bus driver. Like, they were giving it to the bus driver, trying to explain to him that like somebody left it, but obviously they were failing, right? So we all leave the bus, and then we just hear like yelling, and we all turn around, and the bus driver like legit stopped the bus, got out of the bus, and ran to us with the phone case like, yo, y'all left your phone. So at this point I was just like, okay, okay, it's go time. So I ran to him, I'm just like, yo, like, this is not our phone, like somebody left it in Korean. And he was just like, oh, okay, and then he went back. And so I'm walking, trying to just like calmly go back to the group, and my teachers looked at me like, what did you tell him to get him to like understand? I was just like, I told him that it wasn't, oh, that somebody lost it. She was like, in English? I was like, no. I was like, in Korean? She was like, wait, so you knew Korean this whole time and didn't say nothing to nobody? I was just sitting there like, no, I'm not confident. I don't really want to I don't really want to like embarrass myself. But yeah, she was looking at me sideways the whole rest of the trip, for understandably, but it was whatever. So we get to this restaurant, and it's my first time at like an official K-barbecue, and you're normally supposed to do like most of the things by yourself unless it's like they have to change the hot plate or something for you. So they do that and they do everything, and so most of us, we're just sitting at the table like fucking Americans waiting for the fucking plate to be served. And so the lady comes over, she's just like, all right, whatever, I guess I'll just do it, because I think she like realized that we were all foreigners and we were all kind of lost. So she starts putting our food down, and so me, Shai, and our friend Ben, we start bussing, but the other table was still like, I guess, confused, waiting for things to happen. And so the lady, she says some shit in Korean, some slash like, yo, why they not really eating, why they not eating this shit? And so I automatically go like just start being weak, and she looks at me like, hold on, like, you understood what I just said? And I was sitting there like, yes. I was like, damn, cat's out of the bag. The teacher looking at me crazy, and simultaneously all the other aunties in the restaurant like flock over to our side, because at this point like I had braids similar to this, and Cheyenne had like long big box braids. And so the lady's just like, oh my god, like can we touch your hair, like do you mind, like how long does it take, does it hurt, blah 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 blah. And they're asking like 1,000 questions per minute, and she's like, yo, tell the other table to eat the egg, it's mad good, eat the kimchi, it's good when you fry it. And like they were so happy that like I understood some of the like what they were saying. And so that was it was funny, but it was like my most like time I was exposed to an actual like Korean person actually like somebody like speaking the language and understanding. So I was kind of like pat on the back to myself for that one, because it actually like felt like I was doing something, like yes, like I understood. And it was just really cool. Like I love that experience, and I ended up leaving my bag at that store, and I had to come back and get it, but that's for another day. It was fun. They were just like, they all like lit up when they saw me again. It was like, oh shit, like what happened? I was like, I left my bag. And then she just like ran and got it for me. But yeah, like so far like everyone was super nice when I went to Korea. Like nobody really did anything like out of the ordinary without like asking first, except for this one lady. Like she passed me in a convenience store, and according to Shai, she just like lift up one of the edges of my braids, because like you know how we burn it. So she like lift up one and then like put it down and like ran away. I didn't feel any of this. But Shai, she was just like, I didn't know what to do. Like she just did it and then dipped. I was like, okay. But other than that, no real weird stares or anything, because I feel like at this point they're used to seeing foreigners every day. They're just like, all right, whatever. This new person, they probably like K-pop, they probably like K-drama, they hear whatever, get that money, gang pow. But yeah, that was, tours are midday. But after that we went to like another museum, but I love museums, so I had a ball, but it wasn't the most like exciting experience, and we didn't really get to do anything in nightlife. Like me and Shai, we went out the first day looking around, didn't really go anywhere, kind of got lost. Got lost a little bit, couldn't find our Airbnb, but I had searched up the address so many times like just before we got there, so it was like I didn't have any service, but as soon as I typed in like the numbers of the address I remembered, it popped up, and we were just like, thank technology, thank Jesus, because we were dead ass lost wandering around the neighborhood for like a good 30 minutes. But that was it. That was a recap of Seoul. Like our Airbnb was calm. It was in Hongdae, so it was kind of like popular around there. So we went out to eat a couple times around Hongdae. It was nice. They had like just like pop-up karaoke and stuff like that. We didn't really do anything crazy, again, because we didn't really have time. And so yeah, the next part we went to Jeju Island for a weekend. Before we get to Jeju, while we were in Seoul, we also did visit HUFS, or Hanguk University of Foreign Students, and we had like a foreign studies, and there was like a slight seminar about I guess just trying to like promote us to their program for international students, because I was due to go to HUFS at the end of the summer because I was gonna just revisit Korea again and do their program, but finance wise and a lot of things wise didn't work out, so that was on pause. But I don't know if I even want to do like study abroad anymore, because at this point like I'm about to be a senior again, so it's just a senior again. 5th year senior, so like at this point I'm just gonna do my internships and get like ready to dip, because it's going over anyway. So yeah, but definitely if I go to Korea again, when I go to Korea again, it's just gonna be probably mostly for fun or for job searching, so that's another video. But yeah, it was cool. We met like a lot of Korean students. They were pretty cool. One dude studied in Britain, so he had like a British accent. Were kind of like, it messed me up, because as soon as he started talking, I was just sitting there like, whoa, like where did that accent even come from, my guy? Like it was different. But they were doing their festival, and normally when they do festivals, like Korean students like get up on stage and like sing and stuff like that, so it was a lot. And apparently we had missed a free performance from Psy the night before, which the person that invited us didn't like think to include in that, because I was like, you telling me I could have seen Psy for free and I have to pay for it, all I had to do was pop up? Fake. But it's whatever. We had a ball, and yeah, Jeju Island was a whole experience, which I'm about to get into. So like I said, it was only a weekend, so we only had 2 days in Jeju Island. So we left South Korea. We left Seoul in about like 5:30 in the morning, and I was talking to my friend, and I remembered that like the train system is not 24 hours like New York. And so I asked her, I was like, yo, the trains don't like, are there trains running like when we need to leave in the morning? She was like, probably not. And we checked the schedule and there dead wasn't. So like when we all woke up after my professor, I was like, yo, there ain't no train, so we're gonna have to like hail a taxi or something. And so we like dipped everything, ran as fast as we could, got a taxi, got 2 taxis because we were a semi-big group, and then we went to the train station. The taxi driver gave me a discount though because I asked in Korean. And I feel like the other dude, he kind of overcharged the other group, but that's none of my business. We got there really fast, and we took a short flight. It was like under an hour really, because Jeju is small and it's not that far off the coast of the bottom of Korea. So yeah, we got there and we were welcomed by, so I found out that the person that like invited us to Jeju in the first place, because it was just gonna be a trip to Seoul, it was a SUNY Oswego alumni, and she graduated some years previously and moved to Korea, moved to Seoul, and then moved to Jeju Island to work. Like the way it was set up is that it was like a cabin almost. It was really beautiful, honestly. It was my first time being ever in like a cabin situation, and it was like, Jeju is really rural. It's mostly farming there. Like most of the Korean skincare products are like sourced from Jeju. Oranges and stuff in the lake are sourced from Jeju Island. So it was really calm, really clean air, really beautiful. Like the pictures that I took were like amazing, like really good quality photos. Like I had like the most, it felt like spiritual cleansing. I don't even know how, but it just did. Like I felt the most calm being there, like from the moment I stepped there to the moment I left, and I still like feel it now. So kind of sad. But yeah, so she's a part of this organization that kind of preserves like the background of Jeju Island, like the cleanliness of it, she's more like, I wouldn't say anti-tourism, but she's just more on the say like she needs to like keep it on the low so that the integrity of Jeju isn't compromised. So that's what we were working with. So she took us around like different areas of the island, because it's really small, and just told us like a lot of the history of Jeju Island. Apparently there was like a huge slaughter at some time point, so it got really like deep, it got really dark, because yeah, there's history there. There's history in all of Asia, especially like when like Japanese colonialism, Chinese like occupation, all of that stuff was just huge. And so I didn't realize that it extended to Jeju Island. So she really taught us a lot about that. and we met a lot of people there. There were a lot of people like our age and like slightly above, and a lot of people surprisingly from Seoul that just moved down there to have a simpler life, because apparently, like, obviously, I don't know if you heard, but like life in Asia, or just like schoolwork, the work system, the work field is like super cutting edge. It's super really like hardcore, and it's really hard to find your place, and it's hard to job search and do all of that. So people that want to like get away from all of the mess from Seoul, they move there and decide to just live simpler, either as a farmer or like as running a store or something like simple, just to keep it going and keep them afloat. But it was nice. Like every night we just drank, ate. Like they get lit. Koreans, they get lit. So they were just mixing drinks here and there. We was playing just card games, lighting fireworks. We was going crazy for a good 2 days. And honestly, it was the best release we ever had. It was really great. Like the weather was a little bit like gloomy and rainy most of the time, so we couldn't really do things like going swimming and stuff like that. But honestly, it was fine. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Like we went to a Buddhist temple like higher up on the mountain range, and it was really beautiful. There was like this giant gold Buddha. It was big. And we went into a temple, had to follow all the protocol, take your shoes off, XYZ. It was really fun. Like honestly, I don't even, like, the words escape me because it was just all in the moment. And we were just like learning about them. Like I fucking cried in the bathroom. Beep. Like I cried in the bathroom for no reason. I was just sitting there like, yo, this is too much. Like I'm really in Korea right now. I've always wanted to go to Jeju Island. I was actually there, and I was sitting there like, wow. Like when am I gonna get this opportunity? And it's ending like tomorrow. Like I was sick. But like Holly, she did a good job taking us around and just like sharing with us like her experience there and how she works there, how she lives there. And it was cool. She learned Korean after about like 2 years of being there, and just it was a cool mess. Like we made friends. People from Taiwan were there, from Hong Kong were there. We made friends like mostly of all of Asia. They were there for a certain time period. They all traveled back to their countries like eventually, but they were kind of doing something like us where they would just like tour Korea. And honestly, it was a good part. Like I don't know what it was, but it drew us down at Jeju Island, and we just all had like a blast. Like we all vibed, we all just got together, even though we were from a whole bunch of different places. But yeah, it's like a group picture that we took, and honestly it's so cool, because to think that, oh, you could wake up and call somebody like, yo, I'm coming to Hong Kong today, and you have a friend in Hong Kong, or you're going like, hey, yo, I want to visit Taiwan, pull up, you got a friend in Taiwan. Like it was the best thing that we could have ever done, honestly, in my life. The most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm just like, obviously coronavirus and all this stuff, but my backup plan in life is if I don't make it, God forbid, I'm gonna just move to Jeju Island and become a farmer. Even if I do make it, I'm gonna move to Jeju Island and become a farmer. But it was lit. Like there's a whole bunch of, like I said, history there, a whole bunch of just like, I don't know, it was a good time. Like it was calm, I was relaxed, I was really ready to just risk it all and be like, yo, I'm not coming back, but we gotta finish this degree. But yeah, that was my time in South Korea. Honestly, one of the most like favorite parts of my trip. Jeju Island is probably the number one place I visited on my trip, but there's still a lot of interesting things that I have done, that I did and that I saw in Burma or Myanmar, and that will be part 3 and the last part of my travelogue, because that's where we went. We went to 3 locations essentially, which is only really supposed to be 2, but Qatar, yeah, I watched it. It was a little crazy thing, which I also quite enjoyed, even though it was short. That's probably like high in the middle, number 2, really. And then there's Burma. I love Burma, but we'll see in my video the sort of things that we experienced in Burma and what we did. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yo, telling this story makes me get emotional about Korea, so I really held back tears this time, especially talking about the time in Jeju when I almost cried. But honestly, stay tuned for part 3. There's a lot more to be told, and like I said, I hope you guys hang in there for the end of the semester, because I'm gonna try to just like bang it through, because like I said, there's only 17 days left. We really just gotta push it through, pass our finals, pass all our projects, and I hope y'all all do it too. But yeah, this was your girl Mariah, and I'll see you guys next week.
Like a feather in air, letting